Hello friends, myself Bhumika Chawla from GM Education is back again with you. As I told you, I'll be for helping you out with some special tips regarding the specific writing sections which you have to follow or which you have to do while attempting your English question paper which you have to give soon. So for these question papers, first of all, today I'm having a question paper of 2016 with me. And for the rest of the classes too, for whatever writing section I'll be helping you out with, for the tips I'll be giving you, I want you people to carry this thing along with you. If you have, well and good. If you don't, carry one. Okay? So today, first of all, we'll have a target of completing section A. As you all know, section A is comprising of two passages. For those two passages, I can just suggest you that practice more, only then you will succeed. Because practicing the passage over here, because I don't want you to go through the time period where I'll be reading the passage and then going to the question and then giving you the answers. Rather than practice on your own for that part. The more you'll practice, the more questions you'll go through, the more you'll be successful. Okay? But for the third question of section A, that is the note making. Friends, if you have the question paper, just flip the pages and move to question number 3. Your passage number 3, that is for note making. This passage, friends, is of 8 marks and is quite scoring enough if you are clear with the format and some specific techniques. So today we are here to complete the target of attaining 8 marks for the note making. Friends, note making is comprising of 8 marks where the first 5 marks are for note making and the rest of the 3 marks are for your summarizing part. Okay, so here's the third paragraph, the question number 3, question paper 2016, which I'm reading for you, and if you are having that, please go through it, else it will be displayed on the screen. People tend to amass possessions, sometimes without being aware of doing so. They can have a delightful surprise when they find something useful which they did not know they owned. Those who never have to change house become indiscriminate collectors of what can only be described as clutter. They leave unwanted objects in drawers, cupboards, and attics for years in the belief that they may one day need them. Old people also accumulate belongings for 2 other reasons: lack of physical and mental energy and sentiments. Things owned for a long time are full of occasions with the past, perhaps the relatives who are dead, and so they gradually acquire a sentimental value. Some things are collected deliberately in an attempt to avoid wastage. Among these are strings and brown paper kept by thrifty people when a parcel has been opened. Collecting small items can be a mania. A lady cuts out from newspapers, sketches or models, clothes that she would like to buy if she had money. As she is not rich, the chances that she'll never be able to afford such purchases, it's a harmless habit, but it litters up her desk. Friends, for the rest of the paragraph, I want you people to practice on the behalf what you have learned today. Okay? So for this much only, we'll be learning how to make notes. As you have seen, while reading only, we were able to understand what the paragraph is about. So from the paragraph, we were able to get the thing that it was about collecting something. So collection is the main strategy which is followed over here, right? So first of all, for making notes, we must be aware of the fact that note making is comprised within 3 parts. First part, block 1, that is for notes, 2 is for abbreviations, and block 3 is your summarizing. Friends, as I earlier told you that you people must do each and every writing section or the note making in box, because it will give your answers a sophisticated and a very elegant look. Okay? So this way we will be following these 3 patterns, but for the first one we will be following with the note making. For the notes of the first stanza, first two stanzas, first of all, we'll be making a box. After the box, we'll have a look at the paragraph and then we'll think about what it was talking about. As we were aware that it's talking about the collection, so we can write a very good title over here. That, friends, I would suggest you to use the title in a capital letters. It will help you to bold out your title, and you have to underline that with a black pen. Okay? After this, for making notes, we have to keep in mind that we are provided with three things: main heading, subheading and sub-subheading. It's not compulsory every time to use the sub-subheadings, but main heading and subheadings are something which is very compulsory while making notes. So, moving on with the first paragraph, as we learnt over here that what and why one must do collection and one does collections. So, here we can use the first main heading, that is, friends, you'll be able to see that I have used FO apostrophe and collection and N at the upper part instead of putting for and collection over here. We have to keep in mind that the second block, that is of abbreviation, is only applicable only when you are using those abbreviations while making your notes. So that's why I use the words over here which I'll be using later on in the abbreviation column. Got it? So after making this collection for the main heading, we have to go for the subheadings. For the one more thing we have to keep in mind, if we are using we can use three things for marking the main headings and for subheadings. If we are using the Roman numbers, we have to use Roman numbers throughout the note making for the main heading. If we are using the alphabetical order, then we have to go for the alphabetical order throughout the main heading. And if we are using the numerical one, then same way you have to use the alphabetical order throughout. Even same for the reasons of subheadings. Even in the case of subheadings, I prefer to use alphabetical order because it gives a precise manner. Alphabetical order, if used in this way, then it must be followed again for the next of the passages, for the next of the main headings too. Friends, one thing you must keep in mind, that the passage you are reading right now is of 4 paragraphs only. But many a times it comes that your passage is of 8 paragraphs or your 6 paragraphs. What you have to do at that time is, you have to club them up and you have to answer them, adjusting them within the 4 subheadings. You can exceed the main heading to 5, but creating main headings up to 4 is something which I find it very appropriate and apt thing, because it not only confuses you but also gives an elegant look to your answer. Okay. One more thing you have to keep in mind while writing the notes is that your number of subheadings must be same while writing each of the main heading. For example, as I suggested you that you people must follow the 4 main headings. So while the 4 main headings, if you are having A, B, C, 3 subheadings in the first main heading, then you have to follow the same number of subheadings for the rest of the main headings. Because, let's go for an example. Here let's take a box for one and this one for the other. Here we are having the title. This is the sample 1, sample 2, if you could see. Here in the both we will be writing the title. In the first one I wrote main heading. In the second one too I wrote the main heading. And then subheadings A, B and C. Here A and B. Got it? For the next again, I write the main heading over here, that is second. Again I'll write the main heading over here, that is second. After this main heading, I'll be writing A, B and C over here, and I'll be writing A, B and C over here. For the third subheading, if I add to this, again the subpoints A, B and C in the first box, and I'll be closing the box. And for the third one of the second option, I'll be using A, B, C and D. This is an example of something where we are not confined with the equal number of subheadings, and the case 1 is where we are confined with the same number of subheadings. You could see the difference that where you are finding the main accuracy and the sophisticacy in this. Similarly, the examiner will find you your answer in a most elegant and a compact manner, and there are more likely chances that you will score more in this case. So keep sure that you might feel like the paragraph is having more number of subheadings, but still you people have to focus on only a limited number. For example, that's why I suggest that the number of subheadings must be confined to only 3. Coming back to the passage, as we have read in the passage, it was about collections, and the first heading we came across was reasons for collection. So for the reasons of collection, we heard that it can help you for the future. Maybe it is related to someone's sentiments, or maybe there's a habit of some people to save everything. And something also that old age people consider it that it's not using any of the energy of yours. That's why people used to start having a habit of collection. So for the first reason, you'll be using future use. For the second one, you'll be using lack of physical and mental energy. For the and, I can use the abbreviation For the third part, we are using the words over here. Sentiments. For this, as it is specified in the question that sentiments of dead people, sentiments of the loved ones, sentiments of some occasions are related with this. So if we wish to, we can go for it like C.1 loved ones, C.2 subheadings must be written at the end of the word, or you could say at the middle one, from the middle, so that it gives an elegant way and it gives you the precise manner, and it shows specifically that here we are using the subheadings because main heading and subheadings are aligned in the same line, but subheadings must be aligned from the middle one. And I must tell you, it's not compulsory every time to use subheadings. Without this also you can create your notes. For the second main reason, we'll go for the paragraphs again, and we'll find that here we have learned that it's a way of avoiding wastage. We can use directly the word mania over here, or you can write collection, a habit to reduce wastage. Collection, a habit to avoid wastage. It's up to us, whatever we want to write. So as I have written mania over here, I'll be writing the main point like it avoids wastage. Secondly, I'll be using the point habit of thrifty people. For the people again, I used an abbreviation over here. For the third point, I'll be using deliberate collection. Friends, we can repeat the abbreviation over here again, but it will not be mentioning the same repeated abbreviations at the time of writing abbreviations. This much is enough if for the example part, if you want to do the note making, right? For the rest of the passage, You have to go through it and try making on your own. Moving on to the second part of note making, we'll go for the abbreviations. Friends, this part carried 2 marks. That is the abbreviation one. So again, it's very scoring one, because here no one can deduct your marks if you are very accurate and very much original with your content. So here I would like to tell you that again create a box. Give the heading. Abbreviations. Then over here you will be writing main word, then a hyphen in between, then abbreviated word. Okay, you must keep in mind while writing the abbreviated words, your hyphen must be in between. Your starting of the words of the main word must be aligned in the same line. Same for the abbreviations. Friends, one thing you must keep in mind, for the kind of abbreviations you can use is the symbolic representations or the abbreviated form of some words. But using symbols, using the diagrams is actually one thing that you must avoid. For the first, what we did over here was collection. We'll be underlined, we'll be giving it a hyphen, and then the abbreviated word. Secondly, we used was people. Sorry. Here we have to write the main word, and at the right side we have to write the abbreviated word. Friends, you can abbreviate a word by keeping in mind that the word which you are using as an abbreviation must give a glimpse of the original word. As you could see, this word is giving a glimpse of the collection, and this word PPL. PPL is somewhat related to people, right? The same way, you have to create some new innovative 5 abbreviations. You can go for 7 abbreviations, but keeping in mind that 5 of the abbreviations must be your own and original. For example, what do you mean by this originality is, like the word I used over here is and I abbreviated it like this. Is a very common abbreviation which is used by everyone. So these common abbreviations must be used at the last, and for the first 5 abbreviations, your abbreviations must be very innovative and your own creative. Got it? So after this, what you have to do, after creating your own abbreviations, you have to move to the summary part. One more tip I would like to give you for the abbreviation part, that is, for example, for the words that are ending with TION, for example, we use the word function over here. We use the word collection over here, right? So what we'll be doing is funct and apostrophe. An abbreviation is created, which is a very common one. Got it? For the increasing, we can use the abbreviation that is a direct sign of this along with increase. For decreasing, we can use the abbreviation a lower arrow with the word SE. Got it? For addition, for subtraction, these mathematical symbols you can use, but you should avoid using diagrammatical pattern. Now moving on to the summary part, as we have read only the 2 stanzas, 2 paragraphs of this passage, what we have to learn is how to go throughout the summary. Got it? Again, this thing is of 3 marks and you have to score good, and definitely you can score good and you will be scoring good. how you have, what patterns and what tricks you have to follow while doing this thing is, again write the title. The same title you used earlier must be followed over here. Okay? And then you have to summarize the whole of the passage you have read throughout within a small piece of paper. How? For example, your passage was of 4 paragraphs or of 8 small paragraphs. What you have to do is, you have to summarize that content within 80 to 100 words. Make sure your word limit must not exceed, because you are summarizing something. Got it? Your word limit must not exceed 80 to 100 words. After this, how you have to go throughout the summary. Summary is the basic crux of whatever you have read. And for the summary, there are many a times we people get confused, like how to start, how to end. Okay, in the middle one we can write by using the notes we have prepared, but how to start it and how to end it. Got it? So here's again a small trick for you people. For that trick, what you have to do is, as you'll read the paragraph, again I'll be reading 3 lines for you. People tend to amass possessions, sometimes without being aware of doing so. They can have a delightful surprise when they find something useful which they didn't know they owned. Okay, the 2 lines I have read from the beginning of the paragraph, and what I'll be doing right now is using my heading, using my title, that is collection. I'll be joining, I'll be mixing, I'll be clubbing these 2 sentences along with my heading to create a new sentence to show the examiner that I have created something on my own. And actually what I did, I haven't done anything. I just took the content and I just manipulated that thing. This is the actual trick which saves your time. Rather than wasting 10 minutes or 5 minutes on this 3-mark question, we must focus on other sections too. So in this way, you can save your time and thus you can score even good. So we'll start with collection is likely to be done by people sometimes even without being aware of doing so. Here my first line is created, and that too with a very good impact. So the examiner will think, yes, I have thought something, I have created something. And for the rest of the part, what I'll be doing is, with the specific and correct conjugations, I'll be writing my own notes and I'll be creating some sentences and I'll be creating the notes. And again, last what you have to do. At last, move to the last of the stanza, move to the last stanza, read that, move to the last paragraph, read that, and after reading that, conclude that. From that conclusion also, you can add 1 or 2 points of yours if you want to. And then you can end your summary. So this way, comprising 80 to 100 words, you can complete your summary part, and at last, you can score good. So friends, this was the tip for note making which you have to follow. And how you can improvise your note making is, go through a passage. For example, for the random circumstances, go for an article, go for a newspaper clipping, go for a story, go for whatever you feel like you want to read. Either it's a small one or a complete page. If you are reading for a small one, how you can practice more is, it will improve your speed. For the small paragraph, you'll be reading that, instantly you'll be marking that, instantly you'll be making the notes, and thus practicing a small paragraph daily will help you out in your exams. So this was enough for note making. We'll be here further for you for some other writing tips, but for that, subscribe our channel and stay tuned.